Hello, I'm not sure where to look. I'm recording on 3 different cameras at once. It's kind of an experiment. This is episode 2 of my stories, Parkinson story video blog, just detailing my experience with my Parkinson's disease. The first question I really wanted to answer is, why am I doing this? I think the main reason is we change over time, and it can be subtle, and we don't necessarily always recognize how things are changing. I certainly have that experience in terms of identifying that there was something going on with me. As I mentioned in my first episode, I was diagnosed in November of 21, but I think I showed signs for a year, maybe even 2 years before that, without really recognizing what it was. The voice is one thing. This sense that I have to keep clearing my throat. The other thing that I noted was my handwriting went away, and I guess the most specific symptoms was when I was walking, my right arm did not swing. My left arm swung like normal, but my right arm didn't. Speaking of my voice, I'm going to get a drink of water. In addition to kind of documenting how I'm doing, I want to be able to look back and see if I notice any changes on the video from one time to another and from months apart that I may not perceive myself. So that's the other reason for this. This is the 14th of January 2023. It's been about, I think, 8 days since my first video. It's been a good week. I went to my fitness exercise class Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Weightlifting training with my personal trainer on Tuesday and Thursday. So 5 days of exercise, and everything went well. Actually, on my Thursday weightlifting exercise, I got a new record for my leg press, 220 pounds. That's pretty good for me. When I started physical fitness with him and weight training, I only was doing 85 pounds. So I progressed from 85 to 220 pounds. I guess the other thing I want to kind of comment on is something I'm going to have to talk to my doctor about. People say, I hear people talking about off times and on times. There's a lot of discussion about that on the program, the Parkinson's disease website. And I just don't seem to be experiencing on and off times. I really don't perceive any difference from when I recently taken carbidopa-levodopa, and it's been several hours between doses. My dosing schedule is 8 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and 6 o'clock for a pill of 5,200 milligram carbidopa-levodopa continuous release. But then after the 6 o'clock p.m. dosage to the 8 o'clock a.m. dosage, that's 14 hours without any medication. And when I get up in the morning, if I'm up at 5, 6, 7 o'clock, I don't really perceive myself as functioning any differently than I do right after I take the pill, or shortly after, half hour, an hour after. I feel like my symptoms, my ability to walk, my balance and whatever, remains fairly steady throughout the day. So if the expectation is that I would have up and down, I'm not seeing that. So I'm doing this 3-camera thing as sort of an experiment to try and figure out which one of these I want to use on a routine basis. I'm going to call them camera 1, which is right here, which is an iPad Pro, 2021 iPad Pro. Camera 2, right here, is a Nikon Z50. That's a mirrorless camera, and I'm able to shoot both still and video on it. And so I'm taking video on that, seeing how that does. And then camera 3 here is my iPhone 14 Pro Max. So I've got 3 video sources going at once. That's why I'm kind of wandering around. Where do I look? The camera on the iPad is over on the edge, not in the middle. So I have to keep moving over to get centered on all the pictures.
This is the iPhone 14 Pro Max.
I'll show you the setup. This is my home office here in Georgetown. You can kind of see around behind me, there's the office door. I'm going to swap the camera around. Well, I guess I can't really do that. So I'll just continue to go around. So there's the office wall. Photographs, I'm a bit of a photographer. I don't know if you notice over there in the corner, there's a ton of photographic equipment. In addition to the camera that I'm using, I have another one, some winning photographs, bookcase. Turn around here, I've got a printer and a large format Canon printer that can print 13 by 19 pictures on. An outside window. There you see the camera, the Nikon camera, and the iPad set up here. And around that's my Mac 27 that I do most of my editing on and posting onto YouTube. So that's just kind of to document the setting here. All right, I think we're back to sort of semi-normal. It's been a good week. We haven't really traveled anywhere other than me going to exercise. We had a real busy day on Tuesday. We went to the Container Store. We went to Relax the Back store to get some new wheels for my office chair. Went to Orbis to pick up some shirts, and went to P.F. Chang's for lunch, and then we went to Sam's Club. So it was a busy day. We had my weightlifting at 8 o'clock in the morning, came home, showered and dressed, and then we were on the road till about almost 3 o'clock by the time we got home. So I didn't have time to be tired. I was tired by the time the end of that day was over. I guess that's one thing that I do notice is if I'm not doing anything in the afternoons, I get tired. I mean, I get sleepy. If I sit down to watch television or try and do something on the computer, it's really difficult for me to stay awake, especially when I'm trying to read. Reading will put me to sleep right away. Watching anything boring, I'm going to nod off. So that's, but I think that's not really unusual. But I'm staying good and active. That's the key to keeping Parkinson's progression as slow as possible. Got to stay exercise. So my 413 Fitness folks here in Georgetown, that gym that caters just to people with Parkinson's, is wonderful. I mean, we spend an hour, we do warm-up exercises, we do some yoga, we do boxing, we do some agility stuff, we do balance, coordination, some of it both mental and physical, trying to get your mind to work. We do things that really seem unnatural, where you're doing one thing on one side and something with the left arm and the right foot, the left foot and the right arm, so that you have to really think about it. We box and have to count down from some number, or count up from some number by a different thing, by threes or 5s or 4s or something. So it just, you have to gauge your brain. So that's the essence of the activity. Went to church tonight, to Mass, and folks that are in our neighborhood sitting next to us. Lady's husband has developed dementia, something I hope we don't have to experience with Parkinson's, but I know it's a risk. But so overall, been a good week. Just I wanted to document a couple of things that I noticed, and I'm going to kind of wrap this up, and we'll do an episode 3 in a few days. I didn't script any of this, and I didn't really make an outline. I just thought about some things I wanted to cover and things I wanted to be sure that I had documented. And then I'm going to check these 3 video sources and see what I think about how I want to do this in the future, which source I want to use, which actually gives the best resolution picture. I'm looking at a great big screen on this 12.9-inch iPad. I'm looking at it, I see a good picture there. I see a really good picture on this iPhone 14 Pro Max. My Nikon Z, I know, takes good pictures, but I've got a small screen that folds down so I can see what I'm videoing and make sure that everything's going along okay. So I'm going to look at that, try and do some editing this week, post some stuff on the YouTube, start my second YouTube channel just dedicated to this. My thinking is I'm going to call it Stories Parkinson Story. So story apostrophe S, Parkinson Story. And we'll see how that floats. If it doesn't work, I'll do something. But until next time, thanks.